from start to finish, but it was all about Arsenal and their new look attack with Christos Zolis replacing Leandro Trossard. In that regard, Leandro Trossard is now at Besiktas, and Christos Zolis continued his preseason form, tearing through the Manchester City rear guard. Good morning and welcome to Sports Grandeur on OJ 106.3 FM Benin. My name is Ohis Eboreme, and we're talking about the Community Shield, the season's cutting razor in England's top flight. It was all about Arsenal as they scored in the first minute through Calafiori. Good work by Lewis Kelly, who actually dominated the midfield that had British record signing Elliot Anderson. Maybe he is still finding his feet at Manchester City. Of course, it was bewildering that Ryan Shecky didn't start. But Enzo Maresca's Manchester City were put to the sword by Arsenal. Mikel Arteta was ruthless from the beginning. Calafiori scored first. Kai Havertz scored the second goal, and in the second half, Christos Zolis was on hand to deliver a beautiful assist to Martin Odegaard, who sat close enough on his back and scored a beautiful third. Giglio Donnarumma had an afternoon to forget. As it goes, it has been a good one for Arsenal, continuing from where they left off last season. Arsenal under Mikel Arteta, fearsome and the team to beat from defense to midfield to attack. They have a very good team, and if rumors are to be believed, they are also looking at signing Victor Osimhen from Galatasaray. Have been in talks for quite some time now. So Arsenal defeated Manchester City 3-0 in the Community Shield. Enzo Maresca had no answer to Arsenal and their ruthless attack. Erling Haaland couldn't get a sniff. Antoine Semenyo, Jeremy Doku, Phil Foden, and others. So Jack Grealish came on, but couldn't affect the game for Manchester City. The citizens were trounced by Arsenal. The trophy of the champions. Lens defeated multiple champions. They've won everything over the last 2 seasons, PSG, and they just added 2 players to their ranks. Of course, after Magnus Aklush, they have also added Mika Götze from Ajax and Ferran Torres from PSG. Spending 155 million euros in the process, and the Due, Ousmane Dembele and others couldn't do anything at all, as it was relatively easy for Lens, because they had a player, the teenager Antonio, sent off in the 37th minute, and after Florian Thauvin scored that first half goal, Lens had to hold on until the end of the match, and they won the trophy as the champions. That is also the cutting razor for Ligue 1. So all the leagues are hotting up. La Liga started as well, but the big boys haven't played yet. Real Madrid played the friendly against Schalke. Kylian Mbappe scored. Madrid defeated Schalke by 3-0. Schalke had the great Edin Dzeko in their lineup. Because Barcelona, Karim Adeyemi and others scored 2 for Barcelona as they won 5-2 in their own friendly encounter. Very good stuff from Barcelona and Real Madrid, as they will be looking to continue when the La Liga comes up. Christian Romero has signed for Atletico Madrid, so Atletico Madrid also well prepared. Herdman, Alejandro Grimando from Bayer Leverkusen have also signed for Atletico Madrid. So Cholo Simeone is definitely ready for the new season. Mola Lukman is the new number 11 for Atletico Madrid, a number upgrade for the Nigerian star. Talking about Nigerians doing very well in their respective leagues. Akor James Adams scored 2 and assisted 1 as Venezia came from behind to win 3-2 and advance in the Coppa Italia. Akko Adams, largely criticized for leaving Sevilla for Venezia, has started on a high, and we wish him the very best. Senior man Kelechi Iheanacho also scored for Braspo. In the form of his life at the moment, picking up from where he left off at Scotland. In Turkey now, he cannot stop scoring. Victor Osimhen also scored a brace for Galatasaray, even though they couldn't win their first match in the Turkish Super League. But Fenerbahce, with all their stars, lost their first game as well. Trabzonspor could only draw. The only big team that signed big players like Trossard and Dusan Vlahovic, Besiktas, won their game. It was a slim margin of victory, but a win is a win. Very good stuff. The WAFCON final was played yesterday, and Ngamanga scored a brace as Cameroon swept past the Scorchers of Malawi, leaving Tenwa and Tabitha Chawinga well, crestfallen, mouth agape, and astonished as Cameroon left no stone unturned in their decimation of the Scorchers of Malawi. Everybody thought after a very good tournament going into the final, Malawi were slight favorites to win, but Cameroon did a Denmark. We remember that in 1992, Denmark didn't initially qualify for the Euros, but after going through the back door, they won that tournament with Peter Schmeichel and co. This is exactly what Cameroon did, and they won the tournament in grand style. Ngamanga, definitely woman of the match, after scoring 2 brilliant goals to end the good tournament for Malawi silver medalists. Ordinarily a very good tournament for them, but they would have liked to be on the champion stage. Well, Tenwa Chawinga can be happy that she she emerged the highest goal scorer in the tournament. Mihaly Behenia, deservedly goalkeeper of the tournament. People thought she was going to actually be the player of the tournament, going by her heroics. All true. Cameroon conceded only 2 goals, and in that final, she shut out Tenwa and Tabitha Chawinga. In fact, Malawi really didn't have chances. Created chances. A few number of opportunities came for Malawi. Cameroon dominated from start to finish. Monique Ngok was named player of the tournament for the WAFCON. That was the Cameroonian Monique Ngok. So now the women of the touchline, the queens of the touchline, the women who have won WAFCON. Clementine Torre with the Ivory Coast in 2008, Uche Eukaria, the Nigerian, in 2010, Florence Omagbemi, the legendary Florence Omagbemi, in 2016, Desiree Ellis in 2022, and now Valentine Ingwele in 2026. Of course, Fecafoot boss, President Samuel Eto'o, was teary-eyed, emotional as Cameroon hoisted a WAFCON trophy, which was a brilliant performance from start to finish. Ngamanga, like we said before, was on hand to deliver a fantastic performance. All true, it has been a very good run for Cameroon. Well, the Super Falcons will be licking their wounds now that they haven't exactly done well this same and will not qualify for the World Cup. Let's hope that African teams will do well at next year's World Cup. Transfers have been going left, right, and center. Successful transfers, transfer breakdowns. But let's not forget that Jet Spence is now fully an Inter Milan player. He has joined John Stones at Inter Milan. He had a lot of players, or well, not a lot of players, 2 players left Tottenham. Cuti Romero, captain of Tottenham, has gone to Atletico Madrid for 40 million euros, and Jet Spence, who had a very good tournament at the World Cup, a very good string of performances, had a fantastic World Cup individually. And of course, for England, because England made third place winners, he is now at Inter Milan, savors the challenge and hopes to do very well. Yesterday, the world number one Yannick Sinner uh, turned 25, five-time Grand Slam champion. Is not featuring at Cincinnati, but hopes to be fully fit for the US Open, as well as seven-time Grand Slam champion and world number two Carlos Alcaraz. For Cincinnati, a lot of big players have been able to negotiate past their opponents, but Ben Shelton fell yesterday. The champion in Canada actually fell at first hurdle to John Ferreira, who is Portuguese, and that was a very good performance from the Portuguese. Ben Shelton, the world number six, had no answer to the well, he was resilient and he was determined to win that match, and he won it. Elena Svitolina came from a set down to defeat her opponent in three sets. Coco Gauff did the same thing as well. Belinda Bencic, injury prone, had to withdraw through injury. So it's well, Cincinnati is having Alexander Zverev qualified for the next round. Let's give you some results from Cincinnati. Some results from Cincinnati over the last 3 days, because it's a lot, and the last time we're here was on Friday. So let us give you results from Cincinnati. Okay, so Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Open. Frances Tiafoe won the round of 16, defeating Lorenzo Sonego in straights. We talked about Fire defeating Shelton in straight sets as well. Let's not forget that Tirante also defeated the big man himself, 24-time Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic, in 3 sets. It has been a good tournament for underdogs. Right, so Merida is continuing from where he left off in Canada, defeated Zizou 6-3, 6-2 to qualify for the round of 32. Leonatin defeated Sebastian Baez as well. Right, so Andrew Rublev defeated Carreno Busta, and the Badgers defeated Francis Cherundolo, and Brandon Nakashima defeated Alejandro Kovacevic. You remember that Brandon Nakashima was the beating finalist in Canada, lost to fellow countryman Ben Shelton. Taylor Fritz defeated Alex Michelsen 6-3, 6-4, and Lorenzo Musetti defeated Daniel Atmer as well 6-4, 6-2. Fergie Auger Aliassime defeated Stefano Tsitsipas 6-3, 7-5. First time he's getting one over the Greek god in 4 years. Juan Fonseca defeated Botic van Zonshashov 6-4, 7-6, and Juan Cherundolo defeated Arthur in the catch in 3 sets after losing the first 4-6. He won the second and the third in tie breaks 7-6, 7-6. O'Connell defeated Casper Ruud, who had to withdraw in the second set. Daniil Medvedev has been like a lost tennis player well over the last 6 or 7 months. Defeated Trangaletti 6-4, 7-5. Zheng defeated Ugo Humbert 6-4, 6-3. Alexander Zverev defeated the Brit Cam Norrie in 3 sets after dropping the first set 3-6. He won the second. The similar results 6-3, 6-3. Arthur Fields defeated Yannick Hoffman 7-6, 6-1, and Rafael Nadal had that very enthralling match against Canadian Denis Shapovalov. Won the first set 7-5, dropped the second 4-6, and won the third 7-5 as well. So for the women, because Cincinnati men and women singles just as it happened in Canada. Elena's Vitolina, who is having a strong season thus far, defeated Valentino in 3 sets. Came from a set down, just like Coco Gauff as well, who came from a set down. In the round of 32 later today, Iga Swiatek, 6-time Grand Slam champion and the latest winner of Masters 1000, won the Canadian title, defeating Elena Rybakina in the final. Will be playing against the Greek Maria Sakkari. Diane Parry will be playing against Boysen. Diana Schneider, who is doing very well, will be playing against French Open finalist Chiwalinska. Right, so Serena Sister will be playing against Anna Kalinskaya, as well as Elena Rybakina, world number 2, and pushing strong, pushing hard for the world number 1. Will be playing against French. Alright, let's not forget that Arina Sabalenka, who is holding on to the world number 1 title for now, defeated Gibson in straights yesterday. Towson is playing against Linda Noskova. Let's not forget that Linda Noskova recently won Wimbledon, defeating countrywoman, or fellow countrywoman, Caroline Muchova. Alright, the sons of billionaires, multi-millionaires in dollars, the daughters of rich Americans, American businessmen, Emma Navarro and Jessica Pegula, will be facing off in the round of 32. For the men's singles, today we expect some matches. Tirante will be playing against Landules, Blocks against Koboli, Ferry against Demon Alex de Minaur, Hijikata against Jakob Mensik, Rafael Joda against Alex Tabio, Lehechka against Arthur Fields. Those are the matches that we expect to see today at Cincinnati. So let us watch as events unfold. So many things to say. Taiwo Awoniyi is going to Coventry. Frank Lampard definitely signed off on that £17 million transfer from Nottingham Forest, and was given a deserving send-off, even though he had an injury-plagued career or period of time at Nottingham Forest. He definitely gave them his best when he was fit. After he arrived from Union Berlin, did very well, and hopefully he can continue in that regard and avoid injuries, or be luckier with injuries when he dons the colors of the Sky Blues. It is important for Coventry City to try to remain in the Premier League after a 26-year absence. So they will be hoping to stay for as long as they can under one of the greatest midfielders in Premier League history, Frank Lampard. All right, that's for Coventry. So we'll be giving you some other transfer news. So much to talk about regarding transfers. We told you before PSG have completed the signing of Mikel Götze from Ajax, as well as Ferran Torres from Barcelona. So let's not forget that PSG have won the Champions League twice in a row, and are looking to try to win 3 in a row, equaling Real Madrid's whole historic feat, which was achieved under the great Zinedine Zidane. All right, so Diane Metali has completed his medical at Sunderland today, ahead of his 28 million euros plus 2 million euros add-ons move agreed from Toulouse. All right, RC Strasbourg paid 10 million fee for Jacobo Ortega. If he's anything like a real Ortega, then you know that Strasbourg, they've got a gem in their hands. Cristiano Ronaldo has told Vogue on his future that he has a lot of things that will keep him busy, to the point that it's difficult to tell just one thing. He has planned it all, according to the Portuguese superstar, who recently got married in a private ceremony to longtime girlfriend Georgina Rodriguez. When football is gone, it can leave a big void, and you have to fill your time with different things planned, not just one thing. I am ready to enjoy myself more, travel more, watch and play padel, which I love very much. So I want to continue enjoying what I have earned and what we have earned together, because it was 25 years filled with a lot of daily sacrifices. All right, so he is saying that this is going to be most likely his last season in professional football, targeting 1,000 goals. I'm sure if he gets to 997 and there are no matches to play this season, he will extend for one more season. It is a personal ambition, and it has been one since he hit his 900, so you wouldn't put it against him to score 1,000 career goals. Jan Lukumi takes first pick as new Juventus player from Bologna. Very good deal, 20 million euros package. All right. So Manchester City are set to close the deal with Leo after selling Rodri to Barcelona. We remember, well, Rodri and Manchester City and Barcelona have all agreed that Rodri can leave for Barcelona in a 76.1 million euros deal. All right, so Rodri will be going to Barcelona after his team Manchester City was decimated by Arsenal yesterday, while Cancelo on his way to Barcelona today, and Rodri will be next, both arriving for medical, then contract signing. Arguably, Barcelona have had a better transfer period, better summer business period than Real Madrid. Rodri, Karim Adeyemi, as well Cancelo. Well, for me, I think Barcelona got the better transfer window. Guillermo Vicario will be in Turin today for medical signatures at Juve on loan deal with buy option clause. Michel de Gregorio now expected to leave on loan until June, offered to Olympic Marseille and one more club abroad. Juventus, I do not know what has been happening to the old lady. The Bianconeri have been, well, in terms of trying to tie up deals for goalkeepers, it has been an uphill task. It was Zion Suzuki at some point, then Dibu Martinez. That deal was called off by all parties involved yesterday. Now it is now Guillermo Vicario. Why they think that the Gregorio is not better than Vicario remains to be seen. But well, it's all about Luciano Spalletti. I do not think can be better manager than someone who has won the Serie A and managed Roma for so many seasons, managed characters like Francesco Totti, Daniele De Rossi, Simeone Perotta, Christian Panucci, and others. So I do not think can be better. But for me, I think the merry-go-round has been unnecessary and could have been avoided. David Odogu leaves AC Milan and joins Toulouse on loan deal with salary covered until June. For AC Milan, they defeated Manchester United 4-2 in a friendly. AC Milan under Ruben Amorim won their first preseason game in convincing fashion. Right, defeated Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes missed his second consecutive penalty. Let's not forget that he also missed in the shootout against Leeds United. Is that worrying signs for Manchester United's designated penalty taker? Right, he missed the chance to put Manchester United ahead in the first half against AC Milan. Samuel Chukwueze, our very own Nigerian star, had a very good match. The good performance, scored and assisted a couple as well. Ruben Loftus-Cheek was also there, as well as Goncalo Ramos, who arrived from PSG. So that's for AC Milan, who have told a few players that they are surplus to requirements and have to look for new clubs. Juve, Zion Suzuki is undergoing his medical at Aston Villa this morning. Deal agreed with Palmer for 30 million euros plus 5 million add-ons, and all confirmed with the Japanese GK even after Martinez to Juve deal off. So I think Aston Villa will be looking to ease out Dibu Martinez after agreeing to sign Zion Suzuki for 30 million euros. Zion Suzuki was PSG bound. That deal was called off. He has been unlucky, really. It has been a torrid transfer window for Zion Suzuki. Ibrahim Mbaye can also leave Paris Saint-Germain soon, with talks taking place. Liverpool spoke to his agent Mendes, and Mbaye likes LFC project, but valuation made by PSG currently deemed is too high. So Liverpool interested in Mbaye and Barcola. They may have to spend at least 180 million to secure Barcola. So maybe 250 million to secure Bakola and Ibrahim Mbaye. Borussia Dortmund have agreed a deal to sign Yanis Constantelides. All right, documents have been signed between the club. Yeah. All right, so Marc Casado next one to leave Barcelona after Thomas Marcus, who's joining Braga. So Barcelona have to let some players leave because they have brought in some world-class guys like Rodri. While Cancelo has been there, really, definitely they had to renegotiate with the Saudi club, which is his principal club, before he could return to Barcelona. Al Hilal have scheduled new direct talks with Chelsea to discuss Pedro Neto deal this week. All right, so Saudi clubs are pushing. They have gotten Tijani Reinders already, 61 million euros. Getafe have opened talks to not Al Hilal, I could say. All right, so Getafe have opened talks to sign Stefan Bajic from Liverpool. All right, no talks by Gittins and Fena. Rashford not keen on any Turkish move at the moment. Rashford doesn't want to go to Turkey, has said it repeatedly. So people who are Turkish clubs still trying to convince him will not succeed in that regard. He has said it time and again that he has closed the door on any Turkish move. Rodri has authorization to fly to Barcelona today ahead of move being completed. Medical booked by Barcelona, and Rodri will sign a 4-year deal. Good deal for Barcelona, very good deal for Barcelona. Understand the Barcelona maintain right of first refusal for Tommy Marcus, who is joining Braga. Luis Enrique has said that Bradley Bacola and Mbaye out of the squad yesterday. The situation will be talked about when the transfer window has passed. I know that these guys are now surplus to requirements. Luis Enrique doesn't take prisoners. When he doesn't want a player, he pushes the player out. So it's just like Pep Guardiola. They do not take prisoners at all. So, all right, Sao Paulo have approached Jamie Vardy to join the club as a free agent. Talking about Brazilian clubs, Corinthians have offended Memphis Depay after they reneged on an earlier verbal agreement to extend his deal by 2 years. I'm sure he will be suing or whatever else he intends to do, but he is not going to take it lightly at all. All right, so for AS Roma, they are closing in on a Rodrigo Mora deal with FC Porto clubs preparing documents to exchange in the next 24 to 48 hours. So Gianpiero Gasperini will be getting Rodrigo Mora, an exciting player. All right, so that's for Rodrigo Mora and AS Roma. Manchester City will close Ayo Boadi deal, like we said before, because they have sold Rodri. So there's now that space, that vacuum has been created, and the 18-year-old Moroccan is set to fill it as quickly as possible. All right, so Thibaut Courtois has said Real Madrid are training very seriously. Well, that they are hungry for a great season after a trophyless season last time out. In fact, in the last 2 seasons, so they really need to up the ante. Karim Adeyemi has said it feels great. It feels very great to be at Barcelona. That Barcelona is the greatest club in the world, in his opinion. Well, when you're at the club, even those who play for Bender Insurance can say that Bender Insurance is also the greatest club in the world, right? So it largely depends on loyalty, temporary loyalty. When the person leaves Bender Insurance and goes to Heartland, the person will also say Heartland is the greatest club in the world. So don't listen to these players, really. They can say anything for the gram, really. Yeah, so Barcelona being the greatest club in the world, we all know that that is not true. So, but that's by the way. All right, so RC Strasbourg have agreed a deal to sign Jelan Michel. Deal done with Sturm Graz for €8 million package. Bruno Guimaraes has also talked about Declan Rice and how they are going to play together at Arsenal. Guimaraes started yesterday and put in Yeoman's performance as very expected. Enzo Maresca has said they will see what happens when asked about the future of Jack Grealish. All right, Enzo Maresca has confirmed that signings are coming at Manchester City. Of course, they have to sign after that woeful performance yesterday against Arsenal. Hansi Flick has announced more signings for Barcelona. Well, Rodri and Raul Cancelo, maybe more. Oh, really? Okay, that's good. Martin Odegaard, I said, you see our level today. We show that we are serious. We want to do it again. Other clubs will have also shown seriousness as well, and will be ready to stop Arsenal as best as they can. Ruben Diaz has said that despite the fact that they were clobbered yesterday by Arsenal, Manchester City should remain positive and look forward. The first Premier League game is very soon, and that's where they are going to start proper. But that doesn't take away the fact that they were trounced by Arsenal yesterday. In fact, the defeat was so bad. I'm sure it was even worse than the 5-1 defeat a couple of seasons ago, really, because Christoph Zolis was all over the place for Arsenal yesterday, and I'm sure he's going to have a strong season. Fleet-footed, very composed, mature, confident. His level is amazing, outrageously amazing, really. So Mikel Arteta said we still have to recognize the big margins we have to be much better. All right, so he believes that Arsenal can be better than they were yesterday. That's scary stuff for all the Premier League teams. Gabriel Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus are both out. Are looking for. I am sure that Arsenal will be looking to move them on, really. Ethan Nwaneri will leave Arsenal before the end of the summer transfer window as planned a long time ago. Joey Neyman to Borussia Dortmund, BVB, have signed him for 21 million euros from PSV Eindhoven. All right, Harry Maguire said it's been great to see Ruben Amorim, that he's a great manager. Oh, all right, good for you, Harry. Okay, so Atalanta have rejected Fulham's 20 million euros proposal for Raul Bellanova. I think 20 million euros is an insult nowadays in football, especially when you have played it for a few years at the top level. 20 million euros now is for, in fact, 17-year-olds now. Can go for 30-40 million, and 18-year-old is going for 90 million soon from Lille to Manchester City. So if you want to buy a player, you must be prepared. Amadedik is flying to England today for medical tests and contract signing at Newcastle under Marcel's Jarislaw. Right, let's not forget that the 38-year-old replaced Eddie Howe as the new manager of Newcastle. So want to keep you updated as best as we can. While Felix was named the player of the match in their first match, the first match for Al Nassr, Cristiano Ronaldo was absent, so it was left for Felix Angel Gabriel, Kingsley Coman and Sadio Mane to lift Al Nassr, and they won convincingly to begin the season on a high. So Rangers have confirmed the deal for James Pennis. Well, it's a loan deal from AEK Athens. Marcus Rashford has made his official comeback at Manchester United. Yeah, he made his official comeback in that friendly match against AC Milan, and he was seen wearing the number 9 jersey. Whether it is going to be permanent remains to be seen for all these guys. Well, Leeds United have agreed a deal with Borussia Mönchengladbach for Nico Elvedi. It's 6.8 million euros, million pounds. That's a bargain buy, really. That's a bargain buy. Aston Villa and Atletico Madrid have completed documents exchange for Mathieu Rubery. Is an Aston Villa player. So yeah, the Aston Villa's new left back. Really, that's good for him. Nicholas Jackson, Liam Delap, and Tosin Adarabia are not in the Chelsea squad. They were not in the Chelsea squad for their friendly, and while Pedro is scoring for fun at Chelsea in their pre-season games, scoring for fun. So many other things to talk about. Let's give you some Formula One news as well. The beauty of sports grandeur is that we do not only deal with football. We'll talk about tennis. We'll give you updates on F1 and basketball. Soon we'll be talking about cricket as well. So get ready. All right, the Hungarian GP Was on the 26th of July. That was the last time uh, a Formula One race happened, and that was in Hungary, and Lando Norris led that. So let's give you updates, a few things about Formula One. And it's race week, of course. This week it's race week, so let's tell you what to expect during this race week. Yeah, so like we said, it is race week. McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, all of them are ready. Kimi Antonelli is still the man to beat. The teenager is leading on all fronts. Is still the man to beat. McLaren, everybody trying their best, but Kimi Antonelli is the man to beat in Formula One, doing so well. And what to do? So, actually, he's 19 and dominating F1. How does Mercedes keep him beyond this season? So many articles on Kimi Antonelli. We know that success has many friends, and not surprising that Lewis Hamilton is breathing behind him, right? But not so close, 50 points ahead. So for the last GP in Hungary, Lando Norris was first, Max Verstappen was second, and Kimi Antonelli was third. Must get to the podium. Charles Leclerc was fourth, and Lewis Hamilton was fifth. Ajay was sixth, George Russell sixth, and Nico Hulkenberg was ninth. So let's give you the current F1 standings in order to keep you updated with what's happening in Formula One. Let's give you the current F1 standings after the Hungarian GP. We haven't really talked about Formula One in a long time, so we're a bit behind. So for Andrea Kimi Antonelli, he still leads with 219 points, and he has had 6 wins and 9 podium finishes. All right, Lewis Hamilton is second with 169 points, 1 win and 5 podium finishes. Russell is third, 9 points behind Hamilton, 160 with 2 wins and 5 podium finishes. Charles Leclerc, 138 points with 1 win and 4 podium finishes. Lando Norris with 128 points, 1 win and 3 podium finishes. Max Verstappen, who is having it rough this Formula One season, is languishing in 6th position with 109 points, 0 wins and 4 podium finishes. Oscar Piastri is 7th with 92 points, 0 wins and 2 podium finishes. So it has not been a good Formula One season for Max Verstappen. He hasn't even won a race yet, and is just has only reached the podium 4 times. So it hasn't been good for him at all. Let us see what goes between now and the end of the season, but he has definitely relinquished that top position to Andrea Kimi Antonelli. We know that for sure. 219 points, that's uncatchable even for the great Lewis Hamilton. All right, so the Kings have added Jonathan Kuninga in a wild 3-team trade idea. So let's give you details of that trade idea where Kuninga is going to the Kings. This is basketball news, just in case you didn't hear well. In a hypothetical 3-team proposal, the Kings will land Jonathan Kuninga on a 3-year, $60 million deal, along with Buddy Hield, Shedon Sharp, Scott Henderson, Young Hansen, Michael Porter, and a 2028 first-round pick. All right, so that's for Koninga. Koninga remains one of the biggest unresolved names of the NBA offseason, prompting a massive hypothetical trade proposal involving the Sacramento Kings, Atlanta Hawks, and the Portland Trail Blazers. All right, so importantly, the proposal is entirely hypothetical, with no indication that the three teams have discussed such a deal. So it's a hypothetical situation, right? So it is not cast on stone. So Tyrese Maxey has picked Cooper Flag as Captain America. All right. So Tyrese Maxey will be playing with the great LeBron James at Philadelphia 76ers once the season commences. It was a big week for NBA fans and Marvel. Well, the NBA schedule for the 2026-2027 season was released, and which gave fans some added intrigue for the upcoming season. Well, and Tyrese Maxey sat down with some people. Point guard of the Philadelphia 76ers likened Cooper Flag to Captain America, one of the leaders of the Avengers. Now we're going to give you the NBA schedule for the 2026-2027 season. So let's give you that. Not the entire schedule, but now NBA Cup groups for now. West Group A: Denver Nuggets, Houston Rockets, Phoenix Suns, Dallas Mavericks, and Utah Jazz. West Group B: Oklahoma City Thunder, Minnesota Timberwolves, Los Angeles Clippers, New Orleans Pelicans, and Memphis Grizzlies. West Group C: San Antonio Spurs, Los Angeles Lakers, Portland Trail Blazers, Golden State Warriors, Sacramento Kings. East Group A: Detroit Pistons, Toronto Raptors, Orlando Magic, Milwaukee Bucks, and the Brooklyn Nets. East Group B: New York Knicks, Cleveland Cavaliers, Philadelphia 76ers, Miami Heat, and the Indiana Pacers. All right, so for East Group C: Boston Celtics, Atlanta Hawks, Charlotte Hornets, Chicago Bulls, Washington Wizards. In-season tournament schedule: Charlotte Hornets at Washington Wizards at 7, Chicago Bulls at Boston Celtics at 7:30. The Detroit Pistons, we're talking about October 30. That's when everything kickstarts. Los Angeles Lakers at Golden State Warriors, Denver Nuggets at Phoenix Suns, Los Angeles Clippers at Minnesota Timberwolves, Houston Rockets at Dallas Mavericks. All right, so that is that for basketball. So for the US Open, Arina Sabalenka was asked on how she got to team up with Novak, because she's always a playful woman. She said Novak was begging and all of that, but the good news is that Arina and Novak will be pairing in the US Open mixed doubles, and Venus and Serena Williams have announced that they will also be pairing in the US Open women's doubles last time. Maybe for the last time, maybe it's the last hurrah for them. It's gonna be beautiful for these women. Let's see, 46-year-old between them, 90 years between them. Venus is 46 and Serena is 44. So let's see how that pans out for them. Thank you very much. This is all we have for Sports Grandeur today. We'll be here tomorrow to give you more updates on everything around sports. Enjoy your day and stay safe. My name is Ohise Boremi as usual, and this is OJ 106.3 FM Benin. Cheers.